Namandas, 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 namandas.
Good morning. My name is Maddie Potter, and I would like to thank you for attending this morning's combined Dharma family service. We will begin the service with a moment of quiet sitting. Tara will strike the bell, and we will sit for 1 or 2 minutes to quiet our minds and prepare to hear the Dharma. Then she will strike the bell again, and we will continue the service. Tara will now chant the Sanbutsuge. What? Okay, ooh.
Namo Midabutsu. Namo Midabutsu. Namo Midabutsu. Namandas, namandas.
Okay, now she will chant the Sanbutsuge, which is on page 77 of the large service book.
Namandas, 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 namandas. We will now chant Sambutsuge. The Gatha Sambutsuge comes from the largest sutra of immeasurable life. 精進異人難語老が差仏国土大五色微妙道場小絶国如来音二無闘争ガト愛民ガツイサイ実法来生新熱行者意図が国家楽安穏好物神妙是が心象発願の日力少々よ実法世尊知恵無下上領子孫死が信行軽量心死食読書画行精進臨終不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブかにしく徳平等性際同本も大心往生ナマンダスナマンダスナマンダスナマンダスナマンダスナマン
Please rise if you are able to follow along with the Gatha in a Quiet Valley, which is on page 176 of the large service book. Please remain standing for the reading of the Three Treasures 1. I will now recite the Three Treasures 1 on page 8 of the large service book. Please feel free to follow along. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One, now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves the supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be freed from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. We will now have a children's Dharma message by Tara.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. I am Tara, and I'm a minister assistant here at the Berkeley Buddhist Temple, and I use she, her pronouns. All right. Will you all please join me in Gassho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I wanted to share that November is Native American Heritage Month. And so this is a chance for us to acknowledge and honor and show gratitude for all of the contributions of Indigenous people. So I'd like to start with what's called a land acknowledgement. And a land acknowledgement is a time to honor, respect, and recognize that we are on stolen land. And so for those of us here at the temple, at the Berkeley Buddhist Temple, we are on the land of the Ohlone people. And for those of us joining virtually, or if you want to go home and check, you can go to native-land.ca if you want to know what land you are living on. And so earlier this year, I visited the land of the Stolo people, also known as Vancouver, Canada. And I happened to find a book by an Indigenous author. And so I'd like to share that with you today. It's called The Sharing Circle. It's written by Teresa Corky Larson Jonason and illustrated by Jessica von Interebner. Morning Star and River were two funny foxes who were the best of friends. They lived with the skunk, rabbits, deer, badger, and buffalo on the Great Plains, where the grassland stretched out for miles under a never-ending sky. Every day, Morning Star, River, and their friends played together in the grass. They hunted for bugs, swam in the creek, and lay on their backs looking for shapes in the clouds. When the sun began to set, they all raced home to their cozy beds. One day, While the animals splashed in the creek, River gave Morningstar a playful shove. Morningstar lost her footing and fell. She was so angry that she growled at River. They had a terrible fight, told each other, "I don't want to be your friend anymore," and crept back to their homes with hurt feelings. The next day, the two foxes refused to talk to each other. It made everyone sad to see their friends fighting, and without their funny playmates, none of the other animals wanted to play. Everyone gossiped about the argument and began to pick sides. When one of the older buffaloes heard about it, she knew that something must be done. She took a braid of sweetgrass as a gift to a great horned owl called Kokom. The wise and mighty Kokom always knew how to solve problems. She listened as the kind buffalo told her the story. "It is time we held a sharing circle," she said. So the buffalo and the owl went down to the creek, and all the animals gathered together to make one big circle. "Many things we need for a good life are like a circle," said Kokom the owl. "Water is one of them. What can you tell me about the water cycle?" "There is water in the lakes and big oceans," said a smart young badger, "which evaporates and turns into clouds. The clouds make rain, and the rain shares itself with people, animals, and trees. It travels into streams and creeks and makes its way back to the lakes and big oceans." "Well done," said Kokom. "We need that circle of water to live. It is a sacred circle. When something happens that may harm our community, we come together and form our own sacred circle. We call it a sharing circle." "Why don't you tell everyone why we're here today?" Kokom asked the buffalo woman. "Morningstar and River have been arguing, and everyone has hurt feelings," said the buffalo. "Today we're going to share those feelings and talk about what happened." The owl nodded. "That's right. Everyone has a place in the circle, and everyone should feel safe and respected in it. You can share by talking about your feelings, offering suggestions, or talking about how you can help. But you don't have to speak unless you want to." The animals passed a talking stick to their left in the direction the sun travels. The foxes, the skunk, the rabbits, the deer, the badger, and the buffalo took it in turns to hold the stick and speak. Some of them talked about their feelings, and some of them didn't, but they all felt a part of the sharing circle. "I wanted to help, but Morningstar told me to leave her alone," said a young skunk named Smokey. "I tried to say sorry, but River wouldn't listen to me," said Morningstar. "You called me bad names," said River with tears in his eyes. One of the rabbits started whispering to her friend, who stretched her front legs and looked around as if she wanted to leave the circle. Kokom saw this and spread out a large wing to get their attention. "My girls," said Kokom, "you can share your feelings when you hold the talking stick, but now you must sit still and listen. A sharing circle is a place of listening and respect. We need to be quiet until it's our turn, and we are holding the stick. This time helps us listen, understand, and often see things in a different way." The animals passed the talking stick around the circle a few more times, and even the quiet deer, who were shy in the beginning, became brave when they saw how safe it was to share their feelings. The more the animals talked, the more they came to understand that the argument was all a big misunderstanding. "We should have listened to each other and respected one another," said River. Morningstar agreed. The two foxes were very happy to be friends again, and so were the other animals. "You see, young ones, ever since we have lived in this land, ever since the water has flowed, we have always respected each other," said Kokom. "Every animal has a duty to care for another, and everyone has a job to do or a gift to share." "Will we ever hold a sharing circle again?" asked Smokey the skunk. "Of course," Kokom told her. sharing circles can be used in many ways. The teachings of the circle have been practiced for a long time, and if we continue to respect the teaching, they always will. The animals all thank Kokum and the gentle old buffalo woman for bringing them all together. Then they ran down to the creek to swim and play together beneath the enormous sky. All right. So thank you all for listening to the story with me. So this is one of the many things that we have learned from Indigenous people is we have learned about sharing circles or healing circles. And so these circles, something else we've learned is that it's a way to build community, come together, and also heal from harm and really work through conflicts like they did in the story. And so how many of you have ever gotten mad or frustrated or upset with someone? I know I have. You can raise your hand or you can put in the chat, however you'd like. All right, so as you can see, the animals in the story had many different feelings. In the case of River and Morningstar, they became upset and angry with each other. And some of the other animals became sad, seeing their friends upset. And so this all caused a conflict. And so we noticed that this conflict wasn't just between Morningstar and River, it impacted their friends around them. And so it reminds us that our emotions can impact us and those around us. And what the sharing circles teach us is it reminds us to show compassion for ourselves and for our feelings and for those around us and for their feelings. Just like we talk about in Buddhism. It reminds us that everyone has feelings and everyone has different perspectives and views, and it is important to take a moment to breathe and to listen to others who may have harmed us or maybe who we may have harmed, or maybe both at the same time, just like in the story. So next time you're feeling upset with someone or yourself, check in with yourself. Take a breath and ask, how am I feeling right now? And how is that impacting how I'm acting around others? And think about how your friend or loved one is feeling and recognize that they also have feelings in a different perspective. All right. Will you all please join me in Gasho? Sorry. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Mirabutsu. Namo Das, Namo Das, Namo Das. Thank you, everyone. I think thank you. I'm just going to put the screen away. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Now we are going to welcome our new guests. If you would like, you can stand to be recognized if you're able, or wave, so that we can welcome you. So first, we'd like to welcome Michelle. And thank you, Tiffany and Tess, for joining us. Are there any other guests who'd like to be recognized? All right, well, thank you all for joining us today, and thank you to all the new guests online as well if you're here for the first time. So now I will read the announcements that have been submitted. If you have any announcements to be read at the Sunday service and to be included in the announcement slide, please send it to the temple office by Friday before the service. So first, we have the online meditation and discussion, which is on Wednesday, November 16th at 7 p.m. And the sign-up link is on our website. We also, this week, have the Berkeley Buddhist Temple Young Adult Book Club. It'll be Thursday, November 17th at 7 p.m. You can contact Reverend CJ or the temple office if you're interested, and the details are on the website. We also have next Sunday, Transgender Day of Remembrance Memorial Service, which is on Sunday, November 20th at noon, so it'll be after the service. The service will be held in person and live streamed on the YouTube channel, so please join us. We also have the Berkeley Buddhist Temple High School class is requesting donations for Share the Spirit 2022, which is a fundraising campaign for Building Futures. And so Building Futures, their mission is to build communities with underserved individuals and families where they are safely and supportively housed, free from homelessness and domestic violence. There are 3 ways to give for our goal of raising $3,000. First is donating online. Another way is you can purchase a gift card from Walmart, Target, Safeway, a Visa, or a gas station, and you can give it to the high school students or Karen Kato after the service. Or you can write a check to Building Futures and give it to one of the high school students or Karen Kato at one of our services. They request that donations are made before Sunday, December 11th, and you can see the Podman newsletter or email Karen Kato for if you have any questions. All right, and our last announcement is the Jodo Shinshu Center parking will be available next Sunday, the 20th, November 20th. The gate will be open around 9 a.m. and close at around 9:30. Sharp, so please arrive during this hour to take advantage of the Jodo Shinshu Center parking for the Sunday service. And for those of you who are new, it's on Durant. You can enter on the Durant side, Shattuck to Durant, yeah. Wanted to say thank you before Maddie leaves for being our chairperson today. Normally do thank you. Really great job. And so now the students will be dismissed to their classes. So Dharma School students, you're welcome to come to the front in Oshoko and go to your classrooms. And everyone else is invited to stay for the adult Dharma message. Hello again, everyone, and thanks for sticking around for the adult message. Oh, sorry. Sorry for the noise. Sorry for the delay. Having some technical difficulties. I must have not been pushing the button hard enough. Okay. Will you all please join me in Gasho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandas, namandas, namandas. Oopsies. Sorry, I have too many papers up here. Alrighty, so thank you everyone. I'd like to just start out with a little check-in. So how is everyone doing? How's everyone feeling today? You're welcome to put it in the chat if you're joining us virtually, or if you want to write it down. You can shout it out if you want to. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs to the side. People like the thumbs. All right, lots of thumbs up. Oh, some thumbs to the side too. All right, well, thank you for sharing. Again, November is Native American Heritage Month. And so I did want to spend a little bit of time sharing what we've learned from Indigenous people. And so for those of us, just one more time, I want to acknowledge that we are on the land of the Ohlone people. For those of us who are here at the Berkeley Buddhist Temple, and everyone else, you're welcome to go to native-land.ca to see what land you are living on. So one of the things we've learned from Indigenous people is restorative justice practices. And so what we heard about during the children's Dharma message was about sharing circles or healing circles. And so this is a form of restorative justice practices that is a way for us to really rethink about how we resolve conflict. It's a way, and these are practices that have been practiced for many, many years, as they said in the book, and for many years even before many of us came here to the United States. And so even though this was from a long time ago and these practices and values have been around for a long time, there are still a lot of connections to Buddhism and Buddhist values as well. So I wanted to share that, and and some of you may recognize it also from many school districts are starting to also look towards learn from restorative justice practices as well. So typically in a healing circle or a sharing circle, there would be community agreements. And so I just wanted to share these. These are some that I developed for the Young Buddhist editorial. They used one mic, but for sharing circles, we use respect the talking piece. And I wanted to connect it to Buddhism. And so these are just different agreements to help everyone in the circle to feel safe and to feel comfortable to be able to share and participate in this circle and be together. And so some of them are right thought and right view, and so assume positive intent. So this means this is a way to acknowledge that everyone has different views and different thoughts, and so to assume that everyone, is speaking from the heart and has positive intentions and are not intending harm. Another one is right speech, and so recognizing that our words have power and can negatively impact others, and so being mindful of the words that we say. And then the next one is right action, so what is shared here stays here, what is learned here leaves here. So this is acknowledging that if someone shares a story, something that's very personal to them, that it's something that will stay here in the space, but then if it's something that you learn, it's something that you would want to bring outside of this space. And then last is right mindfulness, create space, take space, and so it's just being mindful of how much we're speaking or not speaking. And unfortunately, since we're not in a circle today, it's a little bit hard to do one with the 50 people or however many we have virtually and in person. So I'll be taking up way too much space today. But I did want to just share kind of what this looks like. And so what is restorative practice? And so as I had mentioned earlier, this is based on indigenous practices. And specifically, a lot of it's from the Maori people, who are indigenous people in New Zealand. And it's really healing practices and rituals and values. And so a really big piece of it is reciprocal relationships, and really that sense of connection and the sense of family and togetherness. A big part of restorative practice is really coming together as a community, kind of like as a way to prevent the conflict in the first place. And so different ways to come together is create music, cook, do activities together, cry together. And so the connection, to like, for example, Berkeley Buddhist Temple is, we sing together today, our Gatha. We often will cook together during bazaar time or maybe for an event. We do activities together, like maybe watching a movie or a game night, or we had Halloween party a couple weeks ago. And we cry together too when we have our memorial services or Shotsuki memorial services. And so these practices are really to provide that safe space, to build those relationships, and also to heal when there is harm. All right. And so the goals of the community building or healing circles is really around everyone being able to feel seen and understood and valued and connected to each other. It's a place to both prevent conflict and heal, and also for accountability when there is conflict. And so in Buddhism, we often learn about how we all are here today because of numerous causes and conditions. All these things are coming here today to bring me here and create my perspective. And so each of us, we have all these experiences and values and these people that we're interacting with, what we read, the media, and the people that we learn from. And all of that kind of shape how we see the world and how we act in the world. Sorry. This is the slide. It's kind of like different glasses. So I have my glasses, and each of us have our own kind of pair of glasses. And so a big part of that is, we are all connected and we are all interdependent. And so it reminds us that when we come together in these healing circles, it gives us the opportunity to recognize these different experiences and how we are going to see and act in the world differently. And so, Reverend Matsumoto, for those of you who aren't familiar, was a reverend here, I don't know how long, maybe a little over 5 years ago or so. He was the minister when I first came to the Berkeley Buddhist Temple. And so he did a presentation on Shinran Shonin, who is the founder of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. And so this was from him. So it recognizes that we are all Bonbu, ignorant beings, and must try to abandon the conviction that one is good, and further to abandon the judging of people as good or bad. And so this quote reminds us that being connected and seeing the world, being Bonbu, it's not like just bad or just good, it's being human. And it recognizes that, we all have the 3 poisons. And so we have greed, hatred, and ignorance. And so you'll see that I've used hatred instead of anger. And I've done that intentionally because I think we all have anger. It's a feeling that's normal. And it's something that, yes, it can lead to hate, and it can lead to all of these poisons, and can really blind us and change the glasses that we're wearing, and the way that we see things. And so, okay, we have the 3 poisons and we're foolish, so what can we do? So another quote from Reverend Matsumoto's presentation I went to a while ago. Therefore, you should reflect up on our own faults, even when another becomes furious with you. You should consult with others, even when you think that you are right. And so this quote, I think, really captures what the sharing circle is. It gives us the opportunity to really listen to the others. And so, but okay, how do we reflect and consult with others? And so just wanted to break it down into a couple of steps. And so first step, reflect on oneself. Step 2, listen to others. And then step 3 is having that conversation. And so if you all would like to join me in thinking of maybe a conflict that you've had in the past or currently have, and if you can't think of one, that's okay too. But once you have that conflict in mind, think about, okay, how am I feeling? How was I feeling during the conflict? What feelings were coming up? We can go back to that emoji chart if you want. So anger, frustration, sadness, confusion. And then also, what are my values that may be impacting my perspective? What's really important to me that's causing, me to feel all of these feelings? And also, what are the other experiences that may have impacted this perspective that I have? Maybe it's something from my childhood. Maybe it's something that happened at school. Maybe it's something that happened at work. And so after we take a moment to just kind of reflect on our own emotions and our own experiences, the next step is to listen. And so in Buddhism, we talk about compassion a lot. And so listening is a form of practicing compassion, really taking a moment to acknowledge your own biases and kind of putting them to the side for a second and come really from a place of curiosity. What's going on? What happened? Can you tell me more? Trying to listen and understand the other perspectives in the conflict. And then the last piece is having that conversation. And so that's kind of where the healing circle comes in. It's first, you identify those that are involved and also the support people. Normally, in restorative justice or in the healing circles, there would be an unbiased mediator. And then also taking a moment to create those community agreements and identify the values that are important to the group to help center and connect everybody. And then the next part is really taking that moment to listen to each party. Everyone has that chance to speak, having the talking piece. Oh, whoops. Sorry, my picture is covering it up. And just bringing everyone together in this circle. All right, so I just wanted to share a little bit of what I've learned from restorative justice practices. Most of what I learned was either Oakland Unified School District has a restorative justice program, and they've learned from the Maori people. And so I wanted to share some of what I've learned from Indigenous people today, and like to also give you all the opportunity to kind of reflect on what is something you've learned from Indigenous people. And you're welcome to share if you'd like, but you also don't have to. All right. Will you all please join me in Gasho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Das. Namo Das. Oops, sorry. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for your patience with all my technology mistakes and bumping into the mic several times. All right, so now we're going to close out with some thank yous. I thanked Maddie already for being chairperson, but thank you again. You did a wonderful job. Thank you to Bradley, Myron, Romero, David, and Vernon for their help today during today's live stream service. Thank you, Tony and Ryan, for monitoring the chat room on the YouTube channel. Thank you, Sarah, for playing the piano so beautifully today for the Gathas. And thank you to the November Tobon for preparing the refreshments for us for after the service. And of course, thank you to everyone, all of you who joined the service today in person and virtually. This will conclude today's service, and we will see you all next Sunday.